Hey, welcome back. And as you can tell, it's a pretty exciting video. So we're gonna mount the new wheel setup on the Chaser, and I'm really excited to see how that's gonna look, as it really took a long time, I feel like, for me to make the final selection and pull the trigger on the setup. So I looked at all kinds of aftermarket options. I looked at the standard 18 by 9.5 plus 22 setup that's very common and a lot of people are running. And I looked at a lot of different aftermarket wheels. Nothing really sparked my interest. And so then I kind of shifted to more of an OEM look. And I was thinking, I want my goal for the project to be something more that is like a mature sports sedan, something that's very clean, very tasteful. And maybe the best way to describe it would be my interpretation of how I believe it should have came from the factory as OEM. So real clean, very simple, a very tasteful daily driver that's comfortable, and just sport inspired, but in a mature fashion. So I didn't want the aftermarket. I didn't want anything that appeared to be modified. It's not kind of the goal. That's not a race car or drift car, even though that's how a lot of times these are utilized, and that's great. It's a great platform for that, but it's not how I'm going to use it. So in that regard, I went with a factory Lexus IS250 wheel, and going with the OEM setup. The goal was to really find something, again, to be that almost something that would look as if it could have came that way from the factory. I looked at Camry, looked at Avalon, I looked at other Toyota OEM wheels, and I couldn't find something that really had the right size and width that I was looking for, that I think really would fit best. So the Lexus does offer wider setup. So this is an 18 by 8.5. And so the IS250 does have a staggered setup as factory. So they have an 8-inch in the front, 8.5 in the rear. I went ahead and sourced a setup for 18 by 8.5, and these have been refinished. So it's a refurbished OEM wheel with a fresh finish on it. So they were used but cleaned up. And I got two sets of rear, basically, which gives me 18 by 8.5 all around, and that's what we're gonna fit up on the Chaser. It is a plus 50 offset, the same as the 16 by 6.5 that we have original on the Chaser. So it's 2 inches larger and 2 inches wider, but shares the same offset. I do believe that's gonna cause some grief, so I did get some wheel spacers on order as well. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy on wheel spacers. Should you run them? Should you not run them? I really feel like the way that I'm going to drive, I selected a very quality selection. I'm going to install them properly. I really don't feel like there's a risk. I did plenty of research prior, plenty of opinions. That's okay. This is a daily cruiser. It's not going to be driven aggressively. I feel like I'm going to be just fine. And it's going to help fit this look and give us the appearance that we're really looking for. So with that, it's probably a good time to go ahead and unbox it. So I went with the BONOSS setup. From what I could tell, I haven't touched them before, but obviously trying to do as much research as I could, really looking for a quality. And the result is what I'm anticipating is a spacer setup that is something I can trust and I'm going to feel comfortable utilizing, but also provide the right fit that I think I'm really looking for with the project. It is hub-centric. It is specifically fit to go into those wheels. I'll grab one of those pretty quickly to see how that works. They do have grade 12 hardware, so it is anticipating to be much stronger. I will torque these in place. They do have these active cooling channels, apparently, that are supposed to deflect the heat as this is rotating, but ultimately, all said and done, it's going to slide over the factory studs. These bolts will then torque in place, and with these then I went ahead and connected with my buddy at Toyota. Got a few goodies, but ultimately wanted to get fresh factory OEM lugs because I wanted to make sure that I was really setting everything up to succeed. So I got a full set of the OEM lugs that I know are going to work well with that wheel. And they are genuine, right from Toyota, brand new. So I'm looking forward to that nice clean setup, lug hub. And it looks like he went ahead and threw in some extra goodies. Oil change washer. There he is. Woo. Parts warranty tag. Sticker. Sometimes it's fun to order parts from him just to see what kind of extra stuff I'm going to get. Oh, bumper clip. Valve stem cap, and a TRD t-shirt. Very cool. So I'm gonna get a jack and some jack stands. We're gonna get this lifted up and get the current wheels off, and then start fitting the new Lexus wheels. So because I will be taking this all back apart again, when I do install the coilovers, I'm not gonna really torque and set everything in here. Like I said, I'm not driving this yet, so I'm not focused on getting this like fit finish. I'm really just kind of anxious to kind of see what this is gonna look like and get them on there, just as it's kind of sitting pretty in the garage for a while yet. So I will do a full quality install video specific to the wheel spacer, kind of what I've learned, how I'm installing them, giving some insight, you know, just for that process. But this should fit over in the factory. Snaps nicely in place with the hub centric. Then the attached hardware goes over the original studs. Snugging everything in place. The goal isn't to fit and finish. I won't be driving it in this condition. I'm so excited. Everything is coming together just how I was hoping it would. Coilovers, when those get placed, we're gonna minimize this gap. Again, not going aggressively slammed, but really kind of getting this sitting nice and sporty. I'm gonna tighten these up a little bit just in case I need to run the car out of the garage for a tint project. But I will use a torque wrench, and I'll make sure that everything is fit, everything is torqued, and properly in place. This came out just as I was hoping it would. Basically sitting, really couldn't ask for any better. It's sitting very well in my opinion. It's obviously a much larger wheel. Really getting that gap out of there is gonna be huge. And the best part, the OEM center cap that came off of the original wheel